We now come to our penultimate race. We now come to our penultimate race of day one of the second round of the 2020 BNL Karting Series season. This time, once again, we head to our biggest contingent, Senior Rotax, back in action once again. So, having won the first final by a country mile, Arthur Horsch from France, who won ahead of Milan Koppens by 6.745 seconds. Those two start on the front row. Andres Herbert, who made it two French drivers in the top three, was closely followed by Sean Butcher. Jeff Machiels and Calvin de Groot round out the top six, ahead of Jordi van der Eyck and Mike van Vught. Luca Leistra and Jules Castro round out the top 10, ahead of Laurens Zenen, Drake Jansen, Ehad Turker, Sam van Thiel, Victor Plateau, Bert Dorsten, Scott Westhovens, Planger Jens or Jens Planger, whichever one it is, I'm not too sure. Max Steverdink, Bas Janssen, Kobe de Broeke, Maurice Schuring, Emily de Hoys, Leonie Claude, Clementine Benoit, Vincent van Kerkhoffen, Bart de Wit, Luna Blum and Flint Schuring. 12 front fairing penalties were issued post pre-final one, along with the 307 of Max Steverdink getting a 5-second time penalty for pushing in the race. So 13 minutes on the clock, plus an additional lap set on the timer. Drivers now going on the formation lap. It has slightly changed, hasn't it, out there? The weather, the rain has sort of subsided to a very, very low ebb. But however, there is still a lot of saturation on the circuit. There is a little bit of a dry line starting to emerge, but quite insignificant when it comes to this. The drivers on the sighting lap on the formation lap before they get put into their relevant grid positions will have that measure. They'll have seen what might have been going on in previous races. And that is the telling point of how a driver looks at the situation, reads into it and decides how are they going to have an attack plan. What's their strategy? Are they going to take a wide line through certain turns? Where's the best overtaking opportunities? These are all instinctive reactions that will come to the drivers as they make their way through the 13-minute race and then have an additional lap still to go. Top 10 is Roche, Koppens, Herbert, Butcher, Machiels, de Groot, van der Eyck, van Vught, Leistra and Castro. That is your top 10. 29 senior Rotax drivers chomping at the bit to go into battle for one final time. Red lights on the gantry. Roche and Koppens will control the pace as they come through the final corner. Race director keeping a clean, close eye on what happens. They split. Into the tram lines we go. The Rotax roar comes back. We are lights out, off and racing. Another great start once again from Arthur Horsch. As now Milan Koppens looking to go up the inside. As Horsch off. But Herbert has got the lead. Butcher up into second place. Third place, it's the 344 of Milan Koppens as everyone's nearly going two abreast. It is an absolute sea of senior Rotax colour going up into turns 5 and 6 for the first time. Drivers taking tighter lines, some going sideways, trying to apply the power out of turn 6, and it's nearly three abreast at the back of the field. Butcher up the inside, steamrolls past the number 321 of Andres Herbert, and we've had a turnaround. That is the 326 has gone around and that's part of it, unfortunately. As now Sean Butcher hits the front. I spoke with him earlier on this weekend. He said, Alex, I've been praying for a rain dance. Well, crikey, Sean, you got one, mate. And he's forced his way to the front of the field. Now it's about controlling the pace. So Herbert will want to make sure that he gets an opportunity to move up the order. Arthur Horsch, in the meantime, just going to keep an eye on what happens as they come across the start-finish line. Arthur Horsch has managed to get back on the grid in 10th place behind Jules Castro. Leonie Claude has dropped all the way down to the bottom of the order along with Bart de Wit. And Leonie Claude now crosses the line 19.3 seconds off of Sean Butcher as it is literally elbows out in the final So Luca Leistra trying to look to get past Andreas Heber, and the Buvin power driver gets past before they even hit the inside of turn number 7. But Heber quick to counter-attack. Just behind them is Jeff Machiels. Leistra powers in front of Heber. So keeps third position. Machiels very much in the ringside seat for this one, and they are closing on Milan Koppens, who takes a quick glance over the right-hand shoulder. 2 by 2 in some cases towards the back part of the field. Just outside of the top 20 as they go into turn number 10. So we come round to complete lap number 2, and it is KR Sports' Sean Butcher that is leading the way. Milan Koppens, Luca Leistra, Andres Heber, Jeff Machiels round out the top 5. Oh, it's a 3-way dogfight going into turns 1 and 2. Who's going to come out better than anybody else on that particular occasion? It is not. It might be Mike Van Vugt if he's lucky. But just up ahead, I'm just waiting for them to come through. Oh, a little bit of contact between them. And that might have been the 312 of Calvin de Groot, as it's 3 wide going on the inside in towards turn 5. These senior road tax drivers know no boundaries at times, especially in wet weather conditions, because everyone's scrabbling for traction. Arthur Horsch now trying to move up the order, as up the inside for second on Andreas Heber goes Luca Leistra. Has the Belgian got the place? For the moment he has, and it's not. He's got past Milan Koppens. Koppens drops to third, as it's 3 wide coming out of, and that was Jordi van der Eyck up the inside with the likes of the 312 of Calvin de Groot, and then the 337 of Arthur Horsch from France, who is now definitely bringing along the Marseillaise to the party. I can't even get my words out right. Sorry about that. But in the meantime, Sean Butcher has got a lead of about 1.6 seconds because the quartet battling over second position, which comprises of Leistra, Koppens, Heber and Machiels. Those 3 are covered by just under a second. That's absolutely crazy. It's literally 1/1000th over a second between second to 5th place. Jordi van der Eyck drops down into 9th place ahead of Jules Castro, with Calvin de Groot trying to battle away. Arthur Horsch in 7th behind Mike Van Vugt. So Van Vugt, having made the transition from junior road tax to senior road tax this year, he was due to do a rallycross campaign, but obviously with the current pandemic situation, that all changed. Van Vugt, a multi-time champion, now there's been a bit of an off-track excursion there for Flint Schuring off of turn 7, the brother of Morris Schuring, and I'm wondering how he's doing at the moment. Up into 19th is the 314 ahead of Drake Jansen in the 342. Janssen finished 12th in the previous race, and there are time penalties being issued, and it is for the 331, and that is of Buzz Janssen, and the 377 of Clémentine Benoit. So those 2 drivers, I'm wondering whether that is for a rolling start infringement. We'll find out very, very soon, as we're fast approaching the halfway point of this race. As Andreas Heber trying to go side by side with Milan Koppens coming out of turn number 6. But Koppens gets the run, powers away from the 321 from Dam's Racing Team. Jeff Machiels, I've really been impressed by the 352 as he's trying to look up the inside of Andreas Heber going into turn 8. So Machiels, who finished 5th in the previous race, holding station. So that's not necessarily a bad thing over the course of a wet race day here at Karting Genk. So other drivers that have made up positions, Doristin in the 310 has got past Victor Plateau for 12th. Larzanen has got past Scott Westhovens for 14th. Drake Jansen now up into 16th, as is Sem van Til, who has now got past Vincent van Kouwhoffen ahead of Morris Schuring, as the move has happened, not quite happened yet. Jeff Machiels trying to get on battling terms with Andreas Heber. They both bumped their way over the curbs through turn 3, into 4, now into 5. As there is so much going on around this circuit, it's difficult to pick out a lot of battles, and there's quite a few. There's quite a few carts. I count at least 10 to 12 of them towards the bottom part of maybe what would be the top 20. So there's, they seem to be in packs, don't they, when it comes to battle? You've got what was a four-way scrap for second, but Luca Lystra has got away from Milan Coppens to the tune of around 9/10 of a second. So Coppens, Hebel, and Michiels, the biggest battle up front. They're ahead of Artur Horsch. Sean Butcher, when they say that you haven't said much about the leader, he's doing a pretty good job. Sean Butcher, last time around, was nearly 2.9 seconds ahead of Lystra. As now we're going to go on to lap number 7 of the race. Sean Butcher in the number 357 from KR Sport, keeping ahead. Looks like we've got another time penalty being issued. I'm trying to make out the number at the moment. I think that might be Mike Van Vugt in the 376. Yeah, that is the case. So Van Vugt, the third driver to be penalised. So whether that's for pushing, whether that's for start line infringement, as soon as I get that on the timing screen, I will update you all at home as soon as I know. Morris Schuring now up into 17th, past Sem van Tiel. Vincent van Kerkhoffen 19th ahead of Bas Janssen. Emily de Huyes in 21st. Pangi Jens and Luna Blum ran out the top 23 positions, with Max Stemmerdink and Bart de Wit running out the top 25 places. All 29 drivers rounded out by Francis Leone Claude in the 333. Still all circulating, the entire field covered by nearly 27.9 seconds. So Coppens still having to battle away. Sean Butcher comes out of turn 11, now into the right-hander at turn 12, followed closely by Luca Lystra, who was 0.3 of a second quicker in sector 1. But Sean Butcher, with 4 minutes and 18 seconds plus an additional lap to go, has equalled. So Lystra, Coppens, Hebel and Michiels and Butcher have all gone the same sector time, a 22.1 in sector 3. But it has been that Luca Lystra is actually the quickest. Calvin de Groot has had a bit of a difficult first sector, a 30 flat from the number 312 from the Netherlands, who's been passed by Beer Dorrestein. Erhard Turker has now got past Mike Van Vugt. So the sole representative from Turkey has made it here this weekend. Turker finished in 13th. After the results were ratified and confirmed for the pre-final. As there is Mike Van Vugt. For those watching on your screens at home, you got Erhard Turker, Mike Van Vugt, one of 3 drivers who will be penalised by race control. And he's battling away with Beer Dorrestein in the 310 as they go through turn number 11. As now Jordi van der Eyck trying to go side by side with Calvin de Groot, as Van Vugt keeps the number 310 of Dorrestein at bay. Van der Eyck trying to get past de Groot for position, but can't do the job. And that was for P10. Drake Jansen now ahead of Jules Castro. Victor Plateau and Sem van Til at the moment ran out the top 15. So finally, Dorrestein now past Van Vugt, it looks like. And in the meantime, Luca Lystra has put in a 1 minute 13.924 second lap time. As trying to go up the inside of the 320, the 344 of Milan Coppens is Andres Hebel. They've still got Jeff Michiels not too far behind, but look who's closed up on them at an absolute big rate of knots. It is our pole sitter, and also, it's also the guy that actually won, who started from pole, Artur Horsch, now closing up big time, and Artur Horsch has set the fastest lap of anybody in this race. A 1 minute 13.876 second lap time, as we're now on to lap number 10 of this race, with just over 1 minute and 40 remaining on the clock, plus an additional lap. Now Artur Horsch has done exactly the same sort of thing that Sean Butcher did in the pre-final earlier on today, and now has a chance because he's got Michiels, as Hebel looks up the inside of Coppens once again, and also he's got these 3 in front. And if he gets in front of them all by the end of this 12-lap race, Arthur Horsch will be absolutely he will definitely need a good rest after that, as Hebert again trying to force the issue with Coppens. Coppens knows the track like the back of his hand. Raced it plenty of times before in a multitude of categories. Also represented Team Belgium at the Grand Finals at Sarno last year. So through turn 10 they go. A different line there taken by Arthur Horsch, who rounds out the top 6. And we've got a time penalty this time being issued for the 3:14. So multiple penalties being handed out, and that is Maurice Schuring, I believe. That is the case. So another driver penalised during the race. I haven't yet had all the relevant information, but as soon as I do get it, I will let you know. Sean Butcher now has a 1.379 second lead, but they have gone on to the penultimate lap of the race as Luca Leistra puts in a 1 minute 13.833 second lap time, as Andreas Hebert has been trying all the while to close up on Milan Coppens, but this is allowing Michiels to try and go up the inside of the 3:21. This could open the door for Arthur Horsch. And look how close Erhard Turker is now. The number 309 from Turkey, closing up on the 4 in front. So Erhard Turker starting to resurge a little bit here. Up 6 positions from 13th, now up into 7th place, as the 2 leaders make their way down through turn 10 into the left at 11. So Sean Butcher will have the last lap board this time around, as the time has expired. A welcome sight, I'm sure, for him, after what was a very good comeback race in the pre-final. So Sean Butcher has just over 1,360 metres to go. He's got the sign he needs. Leistra now trying to close, and the gap now down to 1.2 seconds between the pair. A 1 minute 14.174 second lap time for Sean Butcher, who's just trying to keep it nice and composed and do the absolute minimal to make sure he gets the checkered flag first out of everybody. But Jeff Michiels is really closing on Andreas Hebert, as Milan Coppens has got away quite convincingly now. So Jeff Michiels looking to steal 4th from Hebert in the dying stages of the race, but don't count out Arthur Horsch, the pre-final winner, by 6.7 seconds. And now here comes Arthur Horsch trying to go towards the inside of Jeff Michiels. And here comes Erhard Turker. And Turker, banzais up the inside of Arthur Horsch, clips the right front of the 337's front bumper. So I think whether he might have just lost a bit of traction, I think Erhard Turker took a little bit too much curb going into the exit of turn 7 and slingshotted his way up the inside. But round the final corner to close out the day in the best way possible, Sean Butcher from KR Sport takes the victory ahead of Luca Leistra from Buvin Power by 0.965 seconds. Third place is Milan Coppens, 2 top 3 finishes ahead of Andreas Hebert. Jeff Michiels takes another top 5 finish, this time in 5th place. Erhard Turker takes 6th ahead of Arthur Horsch. Björn Dorstein takes 8th ahead of Mike van Vliet from the Netherlands, with Drek Jansen completing the top 10. Jori van der Eyck takes 11th ahead of Jules Castro. Victor Plateau, Calvin de Groot and Emily de Hoys ran at the top 15, followed by Laura Seinen, Zem van Til, Bas Janssen, Scott Westhovens, Vincent van Kerkhoffen running at the top 20, with Max Dominic, Maurice Schuring, Luna Blum, Bart de Wit, Kobe de Bruyke, Flint Schuring, Clementine Benoit, Prangi Jens and Leonie Claude rounding out the all drivers that did finish. There have been several time penalties, but the results will be amended concurrently, and also this is provisional pending any sporting and technical checks. One more race to go here on day 1. Coming up next, DD2 and DD2 Masters.